supervision of Mr. Ronald Chimpanga, the Director of Operations, offers the following services: body care, caskets, coffins, tombstones, and long-distance transport. We also provide tents, chairs, and lowering machines. Find us in Lusaka at UTH and Charleston. Contact us on the number 0976 161213. That is 0976 161213. Or contact us via our 24/7 hotline on 0975 442107. We also have branches in Monze, Luansha, Chongwe, and Livingston. Ozeron Funeral Services. Come for affordable and quality services.
Wow, that over there is a very nice Ford. Have you seen it?
Of course. I have been looking at it since we got here. My worry is how people manage such vehicles and where they buy genuine parts from.
I'm sure there's nowhere else apart from Shuma Auto Parts. They are the only supplier of genuine Ford and Mazda parts, which comes straight from the manufacturer. They have everything in stock for both latest and ordinary Mazda and Ford. They also stock service parts such as diesel filters, air con filters, diesel pumps, steering pumps, turbochargers, engine overhaul gaskets, suspension parts, and body parts. If they don't have parts you're looking for, they can order within 5 to 10 working days. To top it up, Shuma Auto Parts also supply Maxxis tires and CST tires.
Really? But where are they found?
They are found on Chandram Sonda Road, Cruiser Auto Workshop in Lusaka. Call on 0979 192057 and 0960 747235. Email shumaautoparts@gmail.com. Shuma Auto Parts for all your genuine vehicle parts.
The Happy World of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM main news at 18:30 with Judith Mwape. The headlines. Petrol and diesel prices increase. Government concerned over rise in insults on TikTok directed at leaders. Kenyan president says Haiti mission to go ahead soon despite court ruling. And now the news in detail. The Energy Regulation Board, ERB, has adjusted upwards the pump prices of petrol, diesel, and Jet A1 effective midnight tonight. This means that petrol will now be selling at 34 kwacha 19 ngwe from 29 kwacha 98 ngwe, low sulfur diesel from 29 kwacha 96 ngwe to 32 kwacha 15 ngwe. ERB board chairperson Ronald Woa has attributed the increase in the domestic wholesale and pump prices of petroleum products to the rapid depreciation of the kwacha on the international market. Mr. Woa has explained in a statement availed to 5FM News that during the month of January 2024, there was significant depreciation of the kwacha against the United States dollar. He has stated that the average exchange rate depreciated by 9.81%. Africa Center for Disease Control CDC Governing Board Chairperson Sylvia Masebo says a submission by the Africa CDC to declare cholera a public health emergency in the SADC region has been rejected. Chairing the extraordinary session of the Governing Board in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia today, Ms. Masebo, who is also Zambia's health minister, said regardless of cholera having affected almost 15 member states in SADC and Eastern Africa, the SADC Ministers of Health observed that individual countries must decide to either declare the outbreak as health emergency or not. The minister said the ongoing devastating impact of cholera and other infectious diseases on the African continent must encourage member states to develop proactive interventions to prevent further occurrences. She further encouraged member states to fast track the establishment of national public health institutes. The minister commended Africa CDC on remarkable progress being made in operationalizing the Lusaka Call to Action to ensure that African Union member states develop clear public health emergency operations centers roadmaps backed by legal mandates and equipped with the right infrastructures, human and financial resources. She has urged CDC governing board members and partners to support Africa CDC to carry out its mandate and work diligently to address multiple public health threats and epidemics in Africa.
As you may be aware, the current situation of cholera in the SADC region and Eastern African region is concerning. As of today, we have nearly 15 African Union member states currently experiencing aggressive cholera cases. Also, the outlook of the weather, looking at the forecast from different countries regarding the environmental and climate-related health issues, which are ranging from storms, cyclones, and flooding, also is not favorable. This is a strong call for us all to work together and share our experiences and joint vision of our head of states.
And Africa CDC Director General Dr. Jane Kaseya says the CDC governing board meeting will allow member states to work on documents for the forthcoming Committee of Heads of State and Government of Africa CDC, scheduled to be held on the sidelines of the forthcoming African Union Summit. Meanwhile, Zambia has continued to respond to the cholera outbreak that began in October 2023 with a focus on eliminating mortality and reducing the spread of the disease through a comprehensive and multi-sectorial approach. However, the country has lost 12 lives in the last 24 hours, comprising 8 community deaths and 4 from the treatment centers. The country has also recorded 284 new cholera cases, bringing the cumulative number of cases since the outbreak in October last year to 16,258. 369 patients have been discharged, while 449 are still in admission. The Ministry of Home Affairs has noted with concern the growing trend of people using TikTok, a social media platform, to insult leaders with impunity. The ministry is particularly concerned that President Hakainde Hichilema and the First Family have not been spared from the undesirable behavior of individuals insulting leaders. Ministry Permanent Secretary Joseph Akafumba says while government appreciates checks and balances from individuals and the opposition political leadership, it should not in any way include the use of insulting language and peddling outright lies. Mr. Akafumba has further observed with sadness and concern the growing trend by some individuals and groups of people who are forging government documents with intentions to convey certain messages as that of government. He has said in a statement that it is inhumane act of criminality and unpatriotic for anyone to forge government documents and intentionally circulate it on social media. The Permanent Secretary has since reminded citizens that the country has enough laws such as the Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act No. 2 of 2021 to deal with such behavior. Government has launched the partnership program between UNICEF Zambia and Airtel aimed at supporting and scaling digital learning in Zambia. Speaking at the launch today, Education Minister Douglas Yakalima says the partnership is important and timely based on lessons from COVID-19 and the current cholera outbreak that has led to delayed reopening of schools. Mr. Siagalima says the ministry recognizes the importance of digital technology in education as digital tools and resources have transformed traditional education approaches, offering access to information and enabling personalized learning experiences all over the world. The minister, however, revealed that the landscape analysis of digital learning in Zambia, undertaken by the support from UNICEF, has revealed multiple barriers that prevent Zambian children from receiving the full benefits of digital learning, such as the cost of data. He says the partnership between UNICEF and Airtel will contribute to the equalization of education opportunities and encourage innovative teaching and learning methods. He has expressed hope that with the launch of this partnership, other potential partners will join hands in supporting the Ministry of Education's digital learning framework. In other stories trending this evening, Socialist Party leader Fred Membe has charged that the 2026 general election will not be free and fair because of shrinking democratic space. Minister of Green Economy and Environment Colin Zovu has assured that President Hakainde Hichilema will agree to award veteran environmentalist Robert Chimambo. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
The government says it remains confident that ongoing progress in debt restructuring will soon be concluded. Information Minister Cornelius Mwetwa has revealed that Zambia's private creditors have resubmitted an offer accepted as reasonable by official creditors. Mr. Mwetwa, who is also chief government spokesperson, has stressed the importance of ensuring the genuine relief provided by private creditors, anticipating a genuine reduction in Zambia's debt stock. He has underscored government's commitment to prudent resource management.
That is what has dragged the closure and conclusion of debt restructuring in Zambia. I must indicate here that as we speak, the private creditors have already resubmitted another offer, which the official creditors have by and large accepted that it is reasonable and comparable to that which they are offering as debt relief to the country. And in so doing, the official creditors, have to ensure what the private creditors are giving us relief. Number one, that it is genuine relief and not superfluous relief.
Meanwhile, the minister has, however, expressed shock that a consortium of opposition political parties led by former President Edgar Lungu held a briefing this morning to discuss the debt restructuring and alleged failure of the UPND to attend debt restructuring.
We were shocked this morning, and I think many citizens were shocked to see that alumni of opposition political parties come together, among other things, to talk about debt restructuring and alleged failure to attend debt restructuring by the new donor administration, without making mention by any one of them that the debt they are talking about, they were the architects, that the chief perpetrator, the chief architect of Zambia's crippling and unsustainable debt situation is President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, former president of the Republic of Zambia, who was in the midst of those opposition political leaders.
And now in foreign news, a Kenyan opposition leader has accused President William Ruto of planning to defy a court ruling against the deployment of police to Haiti. Ikuru Okot, who last week successfully challenged the planned deployment in court, says the president can only deploy the army and not the police. The court said the mission was illegal. Mr. Ruto said on Tuesday the mission could go ahead as soon as next week if all the paperwork was done to satisfy the demands of the court. Here's Wanda from the BBC.
The UN Refugee Agency says the number of people displaced by the war in Sudan is approaching 8 million. Half of them are children. He was speaking in neighboring Ethiopia. Norway has urged countries that have suspended funding for the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees to reconsider their decision. It comes as the heads of UN aid agencies warned that withdrawing funds would have catastrophic consequences for the people of Gaza. Foreign Minister Espen Barth Eide told the BBC Norway would continue to support UNRWA following Israeli accusations that some of its staff took part in the October attacks by Hamas. The chief executives of some of the world's most popular social media firms are being questioned on their efforts to keep children safe online. At the start of the Senate hearing, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Dick Durbin, said changes in technology were driving a disturbing growth in child sexual exploitation. Senator Lindsey Graham said the heads of Meta, TikTok, X, Snap, and Discord had blood on their hands. Mark Zuckerberg insisted his tech giant Meta was firmly on the side of children's interests.
And finally, in sports news, Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag says footballers need discipline on and off the pitch. His comments come in a week in which England forward Marcus Rashford has had to take responsibility for his actions after reportedly twice being seen in night sports in Belfast. Rashford then reported ill for United training on Friday after flying to Manchester from Northern Ireland. He did not feature in Sunday's FA Cup win over Newport. Ten Hag refused to speak about Rashford's situation when he addressed the media before his side's Premier League trip to Wolves on Thursday. Another weather report brought to you by Classic On.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Northwestern, Copperbelt, Luapula, and northern provinces, including the northern parts of Western and Muchinga provinces, are mainly cloudy, slightly windy and mild, with isolated rain and thunder. Southern, Central, Lusaka, and Eastern provinces, including the northern parts of Western and Muchinga provinces, are partly cloudy, windy at times, and mild with a chance of isolated rain. That ends the weather report.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
And that weather report brings us to the end of the news this evening. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. Petrol and diesel prices increase. Government concerned over rise in insults on TikTok directed at leaders. Kenyan president says Haiti mission to go ahead soon despite court ruling. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Judith Mwape. Good evening.